There was this really good sort of film thing called 12 Years a Slave. I wasn't sure I'd understand it because I haven't seen 1 Years a Slave or 2 Years a Slave or any of the others, but turns out that didn't matter because I didn't understand it anyway.
The main bloke in it was a violinist, right? And he was really good at violinism, like Nigel Kennedy. But unlike Nigel Kennedy, he ran off to join a circus and accidentally joined a farm instead. And not just any farm, but like the harshest farm ever.
They all had to collect like bits of cloud that had got stuck on trees, which sounds like a really nice job from a fairy book, but actually looked quite knackering.
The people they worked for were really out of order, like in that film Horrible Bosses.
I'm not saying this lightly, because it's a big label to put on someone, but I actually think some of the boss people in it were a little bit racist. They kept treating him like shit, and you're like, tell him to shove the job, mate, but he never did.
Eventually the main bloke goes, sod this, 12 years a slave is enough for me. I can't hack it anymore.
It was good they made it, but they didn't really need to because they don't have racism in America anymore. When they voted for Obama, they sorted all of that out, drew a line under it. These days, America's changed and black people can be whatever they want to be, as long as it's either president or shot. There was this Australian man called Rolf Harris who'd come over to Britain years ago and hung around for ages like Australians do, working as a sort of odd job man for the entertainment industry.
He was an other people entertainer, in that you always assumed other people found him entertaining, when actually he wasn't. Anyway, he was sort of quite popular until this year, when it turned out that as well as doing his entertainment, he was a criminal.
He'd committed all these terrible crimes years ago and then escaped from the past and tried to get away with it by hiding in now, but luckily they caught him.
Police have searched the home of Sir Cliff Richard.
The BBC tried to do this new kind of celebrity reality show, Cross with the Bill. What they did was they started searching famous people's houses on TV, people who hadn't been arrested or charged with anything. They had all cameras outside and they flew over in a helicopter so you could tell what a building looks like from the air when there's police inside it that you can't see. It was sort of like Extreme Through the Keyhole, where instead of thinking, who would live in a house like this, you were thinking, how the hell is this allowed to happen? Which is an interesting new spin on it. After it went out, the reviews were terrible, like people said it was worse than Tumble, and they got loads of complaints. I don't think it'll get another series, to be honest. Usually politics is really boring, but this year it got more interesting because it had Russell Brand in it. It was good because when politicians talk, they use all this boring language normal people don't use, that you can't understand. But he cut through all that by talking in Victorian.
And the phrase that these women have come up with, social housing, not social cleansing, is incredibly germane, incredibly apposite.
He's like a sort of cross between Jesus and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He said how rich people like him were shit and we shouldn't listen to them, so I didn't know whether to listen to him or not, but he was fucking everywhere, so it was really hard not to.
Then he brought out a book called Revolution about how unfair everything is, and so you'd know he meant it. He pulled a serious face on the front. It was about how catapultism is naughty and how we could build a better world if we were nice to each other instead of spending all our time thinking about coins.
Energy companies are subsidised by our taxes while renewable energies are ignored. I know you can't support that system, Evan.
He'd talk about how the status quo keeps the working classes enslaved, which I found sort of boring compared to the stuff he used to do about putting his dinkle into granddaughters. What he's saying might actually be stupid, but it's hard to tell because he says it with clever words.
We don't want pedagogic figures coming in and didactically shouting at us.
So the only people who can actually tell if he's stupid are clever themselves, and they think everyone's stupid compared to them anyway. Basically, the only way to find out if he's clever or stupid will be to do everything he says and see if society totally collapses and hundreds of thousands of people die. There was this comet which lived miles away in space, and these scientists were trying to land a probe on it so they could find out more about it, like what it was made of and if the weather was nice there, that sort of thing. The science people are all in their control house looking at computers, and then when it landed they were really happy, which was lovely to see.
It's landed! It's landed!
Then the probe sent back these sort of selfies, which everyone said were amazing, even though they were in black and white. It was all just rocks. Like no trees or waterfalls or even like, I don't know, a horse by a pond in the background.
Anyway, the news coverage was really great, totally comprehensive. They'd spoke to all the science people who'd done it, and one of them was this science man who was wearing this sort of rude shirt with all drawings of ladies' bums on it.
Possibly the water, the 50% water ice we find on a comet, could have been a delivery mechanism to the Earth.
People on the internet said he was a bit silly, and then they said he was a bit wrong, and then a bit bad, and then sexist, and then oppressive and horrible and disgraceful and totally and unforgivably evil, and that he should apologise. And so the next day he did.
The shirt I wore this week, I made a big mistake and I offended many people, and I'm very sorry about this.
It was sad to watch the way it looked on the news. Normally when people the internet doesn't like issue an apology, they're still not forgiven, because the internet's sort of like a killing machine. It can't forgive. But this bloke cried, and when he cried everyone felt sorry for him again, so things calmed down and went back to normal. And then there was someone else to hate, so we did that. Can't remember who that was. Could have been anyone.
Well, that's about all we've got time for. As you've probably noticed, it's been quite a challenging year, one containing an ever-growing sense of dread. There's been plenty of reasons to be fearful in 2014, but hey, let's not make a song and dance about it. No, actually, let's.
An ever-growing sense of dread. An ever-growing sense of dread.
Reasons to be fearful, 14. Constant global crisis, Syria to ISIS, rising living prices, we can't cope. Rolling news is leering and looking on and cheering, and Danny Does appearing in our leading soap. Historic crimes admitted, Pistorius acquitted, Dapper laughs transmitted, shop floor war, online woman hating, gamer bloody gating, and below the bread on dating on Channel 4. Violence unending, iPhones bending, Ian Botham trending, hashtag verbal diarrhea, annex in Crimea, and a spider in the ear of Katie Melua. Teleactors mumbling, no marks tumbling, our social order crumbling while people snigger. Sony facing hacking, MPs backing fracking, and Clarkson facing sacking for saying naughty words. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 2014. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Awful fear and dreading, Ebola virus spreading, Clooney's bloody wedding and that damn song. U2 uninvited, UKIP all delighted, and everything Mark Wright did all year long. Corruption in the city, Scotland getting splitty, woody couldy diddy, that's no joke. Porridge for Rolf Harris, Miliband embarrassed, Cameron was harassed by a random bloke. Devastated cliff face, choppers over cliff's place, baked Alaska misplaced, feelings hurt. Solange attacking Jay-Z, Atmos looking hazy, and Twitter going crazy for an ill-judged shirt. Brooks Newmark with a hard-on, Boko Haram, her continued stardom, Jeremy Hunt. Russell's revolution contains no solution, he's untouched by evolution, the ape-like chap. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 14. Reasons to be fearful, 2014. Yes, yes, dear, dear, but hey, next year, perhaps things might get better. I'll prepare that case. Reasons to be cheerful, 15. Reasons to be cheerful, 15. Reasons to be cheerful, 15. Reasons to be cheerful, 2015. Let's try looking forward, beyond West Norwood. Maybe things will turn good in months to come. economies recover, we all embrace each other, and the love will spread like butter. And your mum. More Peter Capaldi? You might go on holiday. The bargain bin at Aldi is full of cheap beer. You can do some voting and new royal baby doting. Oh shit, I'm sugarcoating. Back to fear. Battlefields burning, stomach always churning. Benefit Street back for Series 2. Every day up early, Nigel Farage and Kay Burley, belligerent and surly on Sky News. Another coalition, parliamentary repetition, hatred and suspicion every day. Apocalyptic weather, going hell for leather. That's the end for this year, now go away.